Hey there, guys. Guess what? I'm pissed off about something nerdy and girly related, so yay! Okay, so I think I owe a very slight apology to all of the men, children, rage-filled grown men who are upset about things from the 80s being changed. Because I finally know how you feel. Okay, so for those not in the know, they're finally making a film, a live-action film, of the 80s camp girl doll ridiculousness classic Gem, or Gem and the Holograms, but technically the actual title of the show is just Gem, which is weird. Whatever. For those of you who were not into the show, it was basically proto Hannah Montana, except her disguise made a little more sense because there were holograms involved, and she's a pop star, but she's also like a philanthropist, sort of. She like runs a foster home, and she and all of her bandmates are all adopted foster sisters, and they are in a band, and she also owns half of a record company, and it's kind of a big giant camp soap opera piece of cheesy magic.
Don't you worry, baby. I know I'll never have a change of heart. It's truly, truly outrageous. Truly, truly, truly outrageous. A fantasy. Being anyone I wanna be. And on top of it all, you're here with me.
But it was wildly, wildly popular in the 80s, and it's still got a very big kind of cult following now. Now, I wasn't born until 1991, so I did not watch the show in its original run. However, I did see a big chunk of it on VHS tapes that were passed down to me from older cousins, and, you know, got a hold of a lot of it on YouTube when I was in my, like, pastel 80s obsession phase in high school. And the entire series is on Netflix Watch Instant right now, so if you need something kind of fluffy and not going to take too much brain power to enjoy, go check it out. And I just don't know what is up with this production, you guys. I'm worried. So the film is being helmed by John Chu, who I only know him. He's worked on a couple of the Step Up movies, the dance ones. He probably has done other stuff, but I'm not familiar with his body of work, but it's not really girly stuff at all. And Scooter Braun, who is Justin Bieber's original manager. And then one other person whose name I cannot remember right now, but he's responsible largely for horror movies. So this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But the thing that's really upsetting about the development of this movie, the first really big thing, is that Christy Marx, who was essentially the creator of the characters and wrote a big chunk of the original 65 episode television series. She also worked on a lot of non-girly things. For those of you who don't care about Gem, she wrote a bunch of Ninja Turtles. She did a lot of cool stuff. Has been completely shut out of the film process. Now, it's not unheard of for creators to not be involved in big budget film versions of things, but they didn't even consult her or anything. Basically, she didn't know that a Gem film was even going to be made until about a week before it was announced to us, which is uncomfortable, partially just because it's like, you couldn't at least like have the fig leaf, but more importantly, at least in this case, for me, this is a film that is based on a series that, while it is far from perfect, is all about women and focusing on their careers. It smashes the Bechdel test. There's like, Rio is pretty much the only named male character, and there's like the one manager guy that the Misfits work with, and then there's that one other male singer in the later seasons that nobody cares about. But it's very much a feminist show, at least in concept, because it is all about women. It is all about a community of women and a sisterhood of women, and again, it's about women focusing on their careers, and yes, Gem has shit with her love life, but that's not the point. And there's not a single woman attached to this project in any capacity. There's not a woman who's going to be working on the script. There's not a woman who's going to be helping with the production. There's no women. None. Why is it that every time girly shit finally does get adapted, it gets adapted entirely by men? In particular with this series, because it was such a big part of being a girl of a certain age, I don't feel like this is necessarily the best idea, because these men clearly have no idea what Jem is or have any particular connection to Jem in the series. I imagine Scooter Braun probably has some, like, he probably will connect to it on some level because he does have experience as a music executive. But I'm going to show you guys a piece from the announcement video that they made.
Hey everyone, this is John M. Chu, the director of G.I. Joe Retaliation, and you might be wondering what I'm doing here with Jason Blum, the king of horror.
First of all, you lost a show.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting ready for a big announcement. You went with a
Thank
show.
you. Scooter Braun, music mogul himself.
Hi, John.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Good. And this doll.
This doll. That is how the director of this film views what is essentially its heroine, its main character. Please tell me it's not just me that really upsets. There seems to be a lack of respect involved in this project, and it doesn't have to be really serious. It's Jem, it's silly, it's big pink 80s camp fest, but I don't know. I feel like the Transformers and even the Turtles, as much as the poor Turtles have been through, got a higher level of respect in terms of at least the rhetoric around them. Like, the fact that everything's being Tumblr crowdsourced in this capacity, in this case, it kind of just feels like these guys don't want to do any kind of research or any kind of work and understanding what the appeal of this show was and what it still is, because it does still have a cult following. I don't get it. So I've always been kind of side-eyeing this production, and then the casting notices came out this week, or early last week. So first off, they're all professional actors, so the whole, oh, we're gonna cast through Tumblr crowdsourcing thing, I don't think it was actually true, because they're all, I think, two of them have Disney credits, and then one has like Nickelodeon, and one was on like Pretty Little Liars, I think, something like that. So they're all actresses, which is fine. They all look a little too young to me. In the show, Jem and her bandmates, they all have to be at least 18 years old because they run a foster home. Jem owns half of a music conglomerate. Like, they have to at least be 18. These girls all look like they're about 15. I think that they're all 17 or 18 in terms of actually what ages they are, but in terms of the age that they play, they all look really young, and that makes me uncomfortable because, again, it's making me feel like they're going to downplay the whole women focusing on their careers aspect of the film, which to me was one of the strongest things about the cartoon. In terms of story, in terms of cheesy, amazing 80s-ness, stuff like that. And the actress who's playing Shanna is really light. It's kind of making me uncomfortable. And this is, as an African American woman who does have light skin privilege, I'm well aware that I do. But Shanna is brown skinned. Like, Shanna was always brown skinned. She's very clearly modeled off of young Whitney Houston. She had that, like, Whitney Houston, that, like, unfortunate triangle sort of afro, sort of like curly bob thing that Whitney used to have in the 80s, that unfortunate thing. but it was purple, so it was cooler. And it's really, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the cast. I'm not feeling the fact that they whitewash Shanna. I'm really scared that they're gonna end up undermining what was at the core of GEM, which was women focusing on their careers and doing what they had to do to support other women. And I just don't feel like it would have been that hard, you guys. Like, just make it 80s, make it campy. And then they put out a promo poster and it looks so dour. And they're all in like this dark lighting and none of them are looking at the camera. They're just like, oh. Okay, so we're talking about going from this.
Well, this is only the beginning, only the beginning. Now's the time when our star's gonna climb. Watch us try for the prize. We're already on the rise. Well, this is only the beginning, only the beginning, only the beginning, only the beginning, only the beginning.
To this. Is anybody else seeing a problem here? Anybody? Okay, so what do you guys think about this? I really want to know if it's just me, if I'm hallucinating. Put your comments down there, and I will keep an eye on this. And I want to try and keep an eye on this project, so I'll do updates talking about my thoughts on things, and I might do another gem-related video just talking about the cartoon if you guys are interested. I'm going to work on doing these more often. I have a new computer, so I can do them a little quicker. I think that's it. You know, follow me on Tumblr, arseniccupcakes.tumblr.com. I have an Instagram now. I think it's linked on there. I don't know. But all that stuff will be down there. You know, showtime synergy.